In the future world of the daughters, men no longer exist in the city due to a broken biological gene sequence. The rapid development of technology allows them to live and work in the kingdom they built. Every morning, a robotic butler will wake up each beauty, and if you want to stay in bed, then sorry. The automatic wake-up module will wake you up instantly. Here all the women don't wear underwear. There's only one gender and no one cares about their bodies. But they are all naturally beautiful, and the secret to eternal youth is in the daily dose of essence. Laura ate her breakfast and tried to turn on the TV to watch the news, and then the news that his grandmother was protesting against the lack of men. Laura was frustrated, but she needed to get to work right away. So she put on her pink dress and set out on the road. There's free coffee on the side of the road and the girls are happily doing yoga on the grass. Laura meets her best friend, Anna, who has just thrown out a bag of garbage and reminds her of the need to separate her garbage. She is fined by the environmental watchdogs, who deducts 5 points, while her best friend is rewarded with 5 points for being a good citizen. Seeing that she was going to be late for work, Laura grabbed a cab and set off in a hurry. She was a teacher in the city, and her mission today was to teach the girls about the history of mankind. Since the beginning of time, the earth has been a patriarchal society where men ruled the world, and there was only violence, and killing the earth has been devastated by constant destruction and wars. With the mutation of a special virus that wiped out 99% of the male population in a few years, only a few seeds remained. As a result of the virus, there are almost no boys born outside of the daughter's country, and the men are like barbarians with a rapidly regressing technology and a life expectancy of no more than 30 years. Laura took the girls to the edge of the city to check them out, taking pictures with their ring phones. Seeing how interested the girls were in this barbaric place, Laura decided to take them on a field trip to the habitat. Everything here was new to these city-raised girls, but these savages are as dangerous to them as primates. Laura won't allow them to leave the protection of the car, but the girls won't allow it. What kind of field trip is that? Laura could only take them, but warned the students that they must follow directions. The appearance of the beauties caused a commotion among the men as excited men lewdly twisted their bodies in mockery of these new humans who thought they were superior. The girls thought it was a welcoming gesture and stepped forward to respond politely. The men in the room were staring in disbelief at the sight of their mouths watering. As the men's mouths watered, Laura ordered them back to the bus, but when she did a head count, she realized she was missing one person. It's a world without men, where women are the only ones left in the cities, and the men outside the cities are recognized as primates by the new mankind. This day Laura took the students to visit the men of the savage land, but found that they were not like the monkeys in the zoo, except that they were a bit scruffy and they were almost the same. This is the first time to see the men of the beautiful girls very excited, and immediately said hello to the men, stunned. Seeing something wrong, Laura immediately called the girls to the car, but when she counted the number of people, she realized that one person was missing. She immediately went out to look for them, only to see the girls staring at a duck, and Laura couldn't figure out what kind of animal it was. Just then, a man came out of nowhere and scared the two women. When they heard the man's companion coming, Paul hurriedly pulled them into a crouch behind a corner, but the man didn't notice anything. Paul smelled the scent emanating from the woman's body. The whole body is flabby. How so good smell? When they looked at each other, Paul kissed him by accident, which made Laura, who had never been in contact with a man, feel shocked and hurriedly blew the whistle to escape from this place, not realizing that just after she went out, she was hit by other people in the right place. Soon the women were brought to the steward. Paul tried to save them by lying that he wanted to make them all his wives, but there are tribal rules, and the slapping contest begins, and the woman goes to whoever can handle it, and Paul's rival is the big guy in front of him. The steward decides to give Paul a chance to make the first move, but Paul cunningly crouches down to avoid the slap but accidentally knocks the steward down. While the scene was in chaos, Paul told the women to run away. Laura ran to safety and immediately used her ring to activate the boundary of the chasing punk's head-on collision shield, while Laura immediately ran to the car. On the other hand, Paul, in order to avoid the chase, into the barrels of wine, but did not realize that this is the steward of the goods prepared for the daughters of the country. The two of them had just pulled the barrels to the countryside, and a car was coming here with the seated players of the daughter kingdom inside. After bringing the goods, the exquisite man is smearing body lotion and chatting with the woman. Paul suddenly emerged from the barrel, which scared the exquisite man, took out a whistle to keep Paul away. Paul explains that he's just a technician and relaxes. Soaked to the skin, Paul takes out a 200-degree vodka to warm himself up. The man is very curious about what he's holding in his hand and insists on taking a sip. As the vodka slides down his throat, the man starts talking nonsense and shouting that he's the seed guardian of the world. He feels like he's burning up and opens the door of the car to get some air. This is great. The car quickly passed through the barrier and entered the daughter's kingdom. Paul posed as the seed bearer and put on his clothes. Anyway, the daughter's kingdom people didn't know what the new guardian looked like. The fat girl welcomed the seed bearer with open arms, and Paul returned the gesture politely. Soon a beautiful woman on a bicycle took the guardian to the center of the daughter's kingdom, which made Paul feel like he had fallen into the sheepfold.